Congratulations. Unopposed is a good way to run. So
I like it. But good morning, Hoppy. Been glued to the radio this morning. Great show.
Thank you. Appreciate that. What's next for you? Set up this summer of what your campaign will look like.
Just a road to November, a road to victory. We're going to work hard. We have been working for months and months. We've got a lot of energy, enthusiasm, getting terrific feedback throughout the district. People are ready for a change. They're frustrated with Washington, and they like a breath of fresh air and an outlook for a better future.
Congressman Ray Hall was on this program earlier, and he touts, as one might expect, his experience. And what can a person expect? What should be the realistic expectation if you would win of one of 435 going to Washington, being the lowest guy on the totem pole? How does that translate? How would that translate into service for the district?
Well, I think similar to what Steve Roberts and others have said, those who watch the legislative process, first and foremost, who is a member of the majority party? Without question, the Republicans will be in control of the House, hopefully. Unfortunately, as we know, Nick Rahal, his very first vote will be to try to put Nancy Pelosi in as Speaker. And, of course, you could turn out the lights in West Virginia. So he's a Nancy Pelosi supporter. I would not be. I would be a member of the majority party, the majority caucus, where all the decisions are made. And I have Congresswoman Ann Wagner coming into the district tomorrow. Congresswoman, a freshman from from Missouri, and she is in the leadership team her very first 2 years in Congress, and was appointed to the very powerful Financial Services Committee. So you can have an impact, but most importantly, being a part of the majority team is very powerful. That is where the decisions are made. I would not be a vote for Nancy Pelosi like Nick Rahal will be.
Evan Jenkins is with us, Republican nominee for Congress in West Virginia's 3rd District. I will ask this question in a provocative way. You were a Republican who became a Democrat who became a Republican. Who are you?
Well, I'm somebody who believes in the future of West Virginia, believes in its people, that is not going to be swayed by the trend of a political party ideology. What we see happening in Washington, the Democratic leadership, the Democratic Party is drifted so far left that those of us who are conservatives, who, yes, were a conservative Democrat, and we see it throughout West Virginia, West Virginia is voting Republican, and there are many, many people who once were registered Democrats, albeit conservative, have said, we don't even recognize the direction that the Democratic Party is being driven nationally to the left, and we cannot be a part of that agenda. How could anybody be a part of the Democratic agenda led by Pelosi and Rahal and Obama that is just devastating our coal industry? So changing to a Republican is fighting for our state, fighting for our jobs, and fighting for our future. I simply could not be a part of the Rahal-Obama agenda.
And I understand the part of the argument that you're making, and I've talked all the time about the problems in West Virginia related to just what you mentioned. And you had, when you're in the legislature, you have a reputation as a conservative Democrat before you switched to Republican. Then why did you go from Republican to Democrat years ago? Why didn't you why aren't you just Republican all the way through, a conservative Republican? Why have your values shifted?
Well, for full disclosure, to get the history actually correct, when I was 18, I registered as a Democrat. And there was a fella several years later in Huntington, a very close friend who was running for city council. So I changed to Republican for a period in support of his candidacy at a local race in Huntington for city council. I switched back to Democrat. So the period was a period of being a registered Republican in support of a close friend running for city council to try to help him in his election. But when I was 18, I registered as a Democrat and ran as a Democrat for the legislature and served as such, but changed now that I'm focused on what the impact of this national agenda is having on our state, its people, and the direction of our country, and simply could not be a part of this national Democratic agenda.
Evan, at the risk of belaboring the point, because you told me something I don't think I knew. So you registered initially as a Democrat, changed to Republican briefly to vote for a friend, changed back to Democrat, and then changed to Republican.
And I served all the years in the West Virginia legislature until this past year as a Democrat. And when I announced my candidacy last year, obviously to run as a Republican, to stand up to the Obama-Ray Hall agenda, you have to be a registered Republican, and proudly did so.
What is this? Are you and Ray Hall going to meet on stage, on radio, on TV? Are there going to be head-to-heads where we'll talk about the issues and the differences, do you believe?
I hope so. In fact, we are sending Congressman Ray Hall a letter today asking for a very robust debate agenda. Candidly, I'm available tomorrow on your show. Issue the call right now. I'm available to have a substantive discussion of the issues about the future and a debate with Congressman Ray Hall tomorrow or any day moving forward. That's what the voters deserve, and I welcome the opportunity.
Evan Jenkins of Huntington, Republican nominee for Congress in the 3rd Congressional District. Evan, again, congratulations. We look forward to a vigorous race between you and Ray Hall. We look forward to covering it. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.